study internal structure. We study internal structure and functional organization of higher plant when we study the anatomy. Correct. So when we study the internal structure, this is known as anatomy. When we study external structure, it is known as morphology. Correct. So plant have cell, plant have tissue, plant have organ. But like animal, plant don't have organ system. Highest level is organ. Correct. So different organ have different internal
So you
structure.
are on
And
mute.
नहीं, मेरी आवाज तो आ रही है।
Sir, are
मेरी
you?
आवाज नहीं आ रही है ना अच्छे से? हाँ। तो इंटरनल स्ट्रक्चर की स्टडी एनाटॉमी है और हम ऑर्गन की स्टडी करते हैं इसके अंदर। So different organ have different structure. Here we understand monocot and dicot have different structure. That's why we study dicot root monocot separately. Correct. And what is the internal structure? It depends upon the adaptation of the plant. If we say what is tissue, is a group of cell that have common origin and usually tissue have common function. हेलो जी नमस्कार। So guys, tissue have uh, common origin and common function. Plant made up of different type of tissue, and main two type of tissue is meristematic and permanent. Meristematic means dividing and permanent means non-dividing. Correct. Meristematic tissue is mostly present in the specific area and growth in this region area is known as meristem. Meristem means divide. Correct. Plant have different type of meristem. If meristem present in the tip of the root or tip of the stem and increase the height in the simplest way, increase the height, it is known as apical meristem. Okay. So apical meristem is the area where plant keep on dividing, plant cell divide at a very fast rate and responsible for the increase in the height of the plant. Understood? Right? So example, root apical meristem is present at the tip of the root, but should have lot of branches. Correct? So it can occur in a different area of the stem axis. When leaves formation start or stem length increase, some cell will left behind, and such cell is known as axillary bud. So axillary bud is the modification of the shoot apical meristem. Correct. Same bud is also present at the leaf tips, or they form a new branch or new flower. So new branch, new flower, new leaf, axillary bud, everything is responsible for the division of cell. Correct. Sometimes dividing cell are present between the mature tissue. Such tissue is known as intercalary meristem. Meristem between the mature tissue. Example, in case of grass, cow will eat the grass. Grass will grow faster. What is the reason? Intercalary meristem. Correct. And regenerate part are removed by the grazing herbivore. If you see both apical meristem as well as intercalary meristem, both are primary meristem because they appear early in the life of the plant and they are responsible for primary plant body. Primary plant body means normal root, stem, leaf formation. Correct. If meristem occur in the mature region of the root, stem, leaves, so and produce the wood in general, and they come later in the life, it is known as secondary meristem or lateral meristem. Secondary or lateral meristem which have cylindrical shape. Stem, basically. Correct. Example, vascular cambium, interfascicular cambium, and core cambium are the example of the secondary meristem. Correct. And they are producing the secondary tissue. Answer is, what is secondary tissue? Increase in the width, increase in the girth of the stem. Correct. Ultimately, whether you have primary meristem or secondary meristem, cell is dividing. Correct. Cell is dividing. Cell structure becomes stable, function becomes stable, and they start uh, becoming the specialized cell. Such specialized cell is known as the permanent cell. Correct. Permanent tissue or mature tissue. Correct. So if any meristematic cell divide in the apical meristem or any of the region, they will form specialized tissue, mature cell, dermal tissue, epidermal skin, ground tissue, or majority of function is done by this. And vascular tissue, xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem is responsible for transportation. Xylem and phloem. Anybody have question, guys?
So, what is dermal tissue?
Dermal tissue means epidermal tissue, outer side, skin.
Okay.
Epidermal tissue means skin, where we talk about the stomata, main thing. We talk about guard cell, stomata, through which transpiration happen, like water will evaporate from the plant. Correct. Permanent tissue. Permanent tissue do not divide. Correct. Generally, do not divide. These permanent tissue, if all the cell are exactly same in the structure and function, they are simple. If plant have different type of cell, then complex tissue. So we have three type of simple tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Two complex tissue: xylem and phloem. Correct. Simple tissue made up of only one type of cell. Example: parenchyma is present in the majority of the component in the plant. Parenchyma have equal shape. Isodiametric means almost equal shape. Spherical. Correct. They may be different shape. Different shape is not so important, whether spherical, oval, round, polygonal, elongated. Shape are not important, but you need to understand different shape are possible. Because these cells are responsible for most of the function, that's why wall is thin and activity is more. Made up of cellulose, as usual, closely packed or very small intercellular space. Packing is close. Function is really, really important. Photosynthesis, storage, and secretion. If you see, main role of the plant is done by parenchyma. Every major function, कोई भी मेन काम हो प्लांट के अंदर, it is mainly by the parenchyma cell, and here intercellular space is less, absent or less. Second, collenchyma.
Isodiametric means?
Isodiametric means same shape in all the diameter, like same length. Okay. So collenchyma present below the epidermis in dicot plant. This is present in the homogeneous layer. Homogeneous layer means continuously present in below epidermis, or sometimes it's present in patches. This collenchyma is so important that we have in the dicot stem. Okay, dicot stem. And if you want to understand dicot stem, you need collenchyma cell. In this case of collenchyma cell, you have more thickening. In case of parenchyma thin, it is thick at the corner. Why? Because there is a deposition of cellulose, hemicellulose, and correct. Again, shape can be different, and they have chloroplast, and they can transport the food because they have chloroplast. Because of the chloroplast, they can assimilate the food. Intercellular space is almost absent. And benefit of this plant, like this cell, is they provide mechanical support to the growing part. Growing part like young stem or petiole of the leaf. Petiole is very flexible, flutter in air. हवा में ऐसे लहराती रहेगी. That is petiole. Young stem is very flexible. Again, reason is collenchyma. Anybody have question, guys?
So कॉलन का में मोनोकोट्स में नहीं होता है?
मोनोकोट में नहीं, स्क्लेरेंकाइमा होता है. हम वही पढ़ेंगे आगे टॉपिक में. थिक कॉर्नर है. प्रोटोप्लाज्म नॉर्मल. You have large vacuole and outer cell wall. That's colon. Last sclerenchyma.
पेरेंकाइमा का कुछ डायग्राम नहीं दिया?
क्या?
पेरेंकाइमा का कुछ डायग्राम नहीं दिया है?
पैरेन्काइमा का दिया तो है.
आई
फर्स्ट
मीन
पैरेन.
लेटरिंग. ओके.
हाँ. Last sclerenchyma, long narrow cell, have thick lignified cell wall. Only in this case you have lignified cell wall, means dead cell. Dead cell. These dead cell have very few or numerous pit. Very few and numerous pit. So because lignin cell wall, so they are dead and they don't have protoplast. Protoplast means any liquid inside the cell. They don't have without protoplast. It means they don't have internal content because dead. There are many variations based on the how structure look, what is the origin, how development. But still, there are two categories of sclerenchyma: fiber and sclerid. Fiber, very thick wall, very elongated and pointed cell, present in the group and in the different parts. As you can see, this is the fiber first structure. Correct. Thick cell wall and lumen is present, long, narrow. Second is sclerid. It can be different shape, oval, spherical, or cylindrical also. Very high thickening of the dead cell and very narrow cavity lumen, as you can see here. Sclerid, there are pits, there are lumen, there is thick cell wall in case of sclerid. Correct? Where these sclerid are present, they are present in the fruit wall of the nut because very hard like almond. Correct? Pulp of fruits like guava, pear and sapota. Why? Because hard in early stage. Correct? Then seed coat of the legumes, seed covering of the leguminous plant is very hard, and in the leaves of the tea. All these are the hard structure. In hard structure, you see sclerenchyma. And only purpose of sclerenchyma is mechanical support. Why? Because very hard. Wherever you see dead material means sclerenchyma. Okay, cells done. Complex tissue made up of more than one type of cell and they work as a unit. Complex tissue have two parts: xylem for water transportation, phloem for food. Xylem, because it transports water, it also transports mineral from root to stem, then leaves. It also provides mechanical support because there are dead cells. Correct? There are dead cells. In case of gymnosperm, vessels are absent. In case of gymnosperm, vessels are absent. Let me ask one question from anybody can answer. Why we call angiosperm as angiosperm? What is the reason? And how many people video is on? Only Chandana and Zoom user, no one else. Marianne. Aditya, how's your health?
Not well, sir.
Not well.
कर लूंगा सर ऑन में जब होगी ठीक.
ठीक. तो कोई मुझे बता सकता है कि why angiosperm have their specific name? एंजियोस्पर्म को हम एंजियोस्पर्म क्यों बोलते हैं? खुशी, नैन्सी, ये तो 12th में भी था। सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन इन फ्लावरिंग प्लांट, रेयान, जूम यूजर, आदित्य, एंड चंदना.
No, sir.
Angio means blood vessel. Sperm means plant that have seed. Spermatophyte, plant that have. Okay, so gymnosperm, angiosperm are proper spermatophyte, seed-bearing plant. Angio means vessel. Blood vessel means vessel. So only angiosperm have vessel. So gymnosperm lack vessel means only plant that have vessel is angiosperm because they are advanced plant. Big plant have to transport water for long distance. That's why they have vessel. First is trachea.
सर आपके
हाँ नैन्सी. Sperm means seed, angio means vessel. तो angiosperm means सीड वाले वो प्लांट हैं जिनके अंदर वेसल प्रेजेंट होती है. Now look at the trachea. Trachea is an elongated tube-like structure, have thick lignified cell wall and tapering end, as you can see. Trachea, tapering end, this trachea. Lignified wall means dead cell, correct? Dead cell. Inner layer of cell wall have thickening. Inner layer have thickening. In case of flowering plant means angiosperm, trachea and vessel are the two important things. In flowering plant, trachea and vessel are the main thing for the water transportation. Second is vessel. So vessel are cylindrical in shape, look like a tube, and have um, made up of many cells, known as vessel member. Correct? So vessel member is not made up of single cell, but multiple cell. Same lignified cell wall, it means dead and large cavity. How? You
हाँ
can see the difference between trachea and vessel. Vessel is wider than trachea. Vessel is wider than trachea. Okay, vessel is wider than trachea. Vessel cell also devoid of protoplasm means dead cell. Vessel members are interconnected through perforation in their common wall. There are holes present in their body, as you can see. Holes present in their body. Correct? Holes present in their body. And vessel is the characteristic feature of angiosperm. That's why angiosperm have their name. Correct? Xylem fiber. Xylem fiber have highly thickened wall and obliterate cell lumen, central lumen. It obliterate means almost filled, full. Correct? There may be separation. Separate means they are separated, or maybe they are joined. Aseptate means joined together. In xylem, you have total four structures: trachea, vessel, fiber, parenchyma. Out of these four, only parenchyma is living. All other are dead. Only parenchyma is living. Cell wall made up of cellulose, store food like starch or fat, and they have another material tannin. Correct? What is the benefit of this parenchyma cell in xylem? Conduction of water is easy in the by the ray parenchyma cell. Cell are present in the radiation band, like outside.
so
This
can you
is
say
very
how to remember like which one is living, which one is dead?
only parenchyma is living. All are dead, so no living. Parenchyma cell were living in the last topic we studied.
And so in the case of phloem, the opposite.
In phloem, most of the cell are live, but fiber is still dead. Whenever you will see fiber word, cell will be dead. Primary xylem are two types: proto formed first, meta formed later. Correct? A first formed, then protoxylem. Later formed, metaxylem. Mature. Correct. In case of stem, you will see protoxylem is central and metaxylem is outside. So based on the protoxylem, you will say there is a end arc arrangement. What is the meaning of end arc? Protoxylem inside. End means inside. Protoxylem inside and arc present in the stem. Ulta in case of root. In root, protoxylem is outside, and this arrangement is known as exarch. Chandana, can you tell me why we have endark or exarch arrangement? Chandana,
Yes, sir.
why we have endark and exarch arrangement?
I'm not sure.
Anybody who can tell me why we have different arrangement like endark and exarch? Answer is in case
Good
of
evening.
root. Good evening, Sarah. In case of exarch, like root, outer part should be very soft because root want to absorb more water. Makes sense. Very soft. But in case of stem, outer part should be very hard. Why? Protection from the environment. Makes sense. Protection from the environment because stem live um, in normal condition. So there is extreme summer, winter, and we have to protect the plant. Correct? We have to protect the plant. That's why it's important having tough part outside in case of stem and soft part outside in case of root because in the root every like root is protected but we want water and mineral from soil. Makes sense. Very logical.
Yes.
Hmm.
सर
Sir,
इंडाल कहाँ प्रेजेंट होता है
And
सर कैन
dark
आई
stem में
join किसमें
sure.
I'm not able to
And dark stem, what happens, Sarah?
sir I'm not able to put on my camera. I'll leave and join.
Okay. एंड डार्क प्रेजेंट होता है स्टेम के अंदर क्योंकि स्टेम का जो मेटाजाइलम मतलब हार्ड पार्ट आउटसाइड एंड सॉफ्ट पार्ट इनसाइड है तो एंड डार्क. एनी डाउट निर्जला?
नहीं सर
Last topic, phloem. Phloem transport food from leaves normally to the other part of the plant. In case of angiosperm, these are made up of same four type of cells: sieve tube, companion, phloem parenchyma, phloem fibre. Four. But in case of gymnosperm, we have only two cells: albuminous cell and sieve cell. Remember, sieve cell, not sieve tube. Sieve cell, not sieve tube. So gymnosperm don't have sieve tube cell or companion. First is sieve tube. These cells are very long, tube-like, arranged lengthwise, and associated with the companion cell. Why? Because they are perforated in the sieve-like manner. Sieve क्या होता है? छलनी, चाय छानने वाली छलनी. The filter paper we use for the tea is sieve, right? Mature sieve element have peripheral cytoplasm, large vacuole but no nucleus. Outer cytoplasm, large vacuole but no nucleus. This topic is given in NCERT cell chapter. Cell without nucleus, sieve, sieve tube, right? Cell without nucleus, sieve tube. Then how function is managed? Companion cell. How function is managed? Companion. Second, what is companion cell? Special parenchyma cell. Very active. Correct? Very active and connected with the sieve tube element. Correct? Connected on the sieve tube element. What is the role? Maintain pressure in the sieve tube. What is the role of companion cell? Maintain sieve tube. Next, phloem parenchyma, live cell again. So, have dense cytoplasm nucleus, everything is normal, plasmid connection. They store food like resin, latex, and mucilage. If you compare, even xylem parenchyma store food in the form of starch and fat. Same phloem parenchyma store food in the case of in like resin, latex, and mucilage. Correct? But they are almost absent in case of monocot. Why? Anybody can tell me? Barinder. अच्छा Barinder तो join कर रही है. Sara, in your opinion, what do you think? Why, in case of monocot, parenchyma is absent, phloem parenchyma?
Not sure.
Anybody? Imagine कि you have monocot plant life is hardly for 2-3 months. Okay? तो अगर लाइफ ही 2-3 मंथ की है, why you want to store food in that case? Correct? If you differentiate monocot and dicot, one of the biggest difference in their life is in case of monocot, life is short, 2-3 months, 6 months maximum. Dicot, very long life, years, like 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, long time. That's why compare. In case of monocot, you have very short root, fibrous root, right? But in case of dicot, like people tree, you have very long root, sometimes 4 kilometers. Why? Life, more life, heavy mass. Then in this case, there should be like um, heavy biomass. So you have to support. For supporting, you should have more root. Make sense? जितना heavy plant होगा, उतने ही ज्यादा elaborated root होंगे, well developed root होंगे. अगर लाइफ ही 2 मंथ है, 3 मंथ है, तो इतनी बड़ी रूट बना के करेंगे क्या? That's why in case of wheat or rice, you will see very small root, fibrous root, right? Last, fiber. Fiber in case of phloem, also known as bast fiber. These are dead cells. Fiber are always dead cells, clear again. So they are absent in the primary phloem. Why absent in primary phloem? Primary phloem are soft. These are dead. Why you have dead cell in the primary structure? But present in the secondary phloem. Why? Because hard mass. Same, very needle-like, long fiber-like structure. Simple long fiber-like structure like this. Okay. Cell wall is again thick because dead. Cell wall is thick because because it is dead. When they become mature, they lose all their protoplasm and become dead. What is the benefit of this fiber? We used to make jute, flax, hemp. Jute cloth are famous. Jute bag are famous. Correct. Same like protoxylem, metaxylem. You have protophyllum, metaphylum. If first formed, then protoxylem. They have narrow sieve tube. And if they are mature later formed, bigger sieve tube, metaxylem. Understood? Now, let me tell you summary what we did. We said plant made up of cell, tissue, and organ, not organ system. One, first one. Second, different type of tissue present in the plant. Dividing tissue, meristematic. Non-dividing tissue, permanent. Again, dividing tissue are two types. If dividing tissue present in the young plant, then primary meristematic tissue. Okay, and if they are present in the mature plant, secondary meristematic tissue. Any doubt? Primary or in young plant, there are two type of tissue. One apical meristem in the root or stem. And second, intercalary meristem, especially in case of grass. Cow eat grass. Grass again grow in 2-3 days. Reason, intercalary meristem. Secondary or lateral meristem occur in the mature region to increase the width of the plant. Correct? Like intercalary meristem, vascular cambium, core cambium. Okay. Second tissue are permanent. Tissue that do not divide. Permanent tissue are two types. If they have only one type of cell, simple. Contain more than one type of cell, complex. Example of one type of cell, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, actual living cell, do majority of function. Collenchyma, flexibility to the part. Sclerenchyma, dead. Complex tissue are two types. Transport food, phloem. Transport water mineral, xylem. Easy guys. Short summary.
The
So
complex.
complex tissue are two types. One, xylem for water and mineral transportation. Xylem further have four category, like four type of cell. Tracheate, vessel, or xylem fiber. All are dead and help in the transportation of the water or mineral. Parenchyma is live cell store food. Okay, if xylem form first, proto. If xylem formed later or in the mature stage, then meta xylem. Correct. Same way phloem. If phloem form early, protophloem. Metaphloem later. Phloem also have four type of cell. Majority of them are live. Sieve tube, companion, phloem fiber, phloem pancake. Phloem fiber become dead once they become mature. Understood? Revision done.
So
If you
what about
understood.
the phloem? These
What
tubes
are the
compare types under phloem.
four type of cell? Sieve
Yes.
tube cell do not have nucleus. Companion cell maintain pressure and have nucleus, so also control sieve tube activity. Pa- uh, Parenchyma live cell store food, resin, latex, mucilage, and fiber are simple fiber-like structure what we use to make bag, jute bag. Then
Yes.
सर म्यूसिलेज वाटर की कवरिंग के लिए होती है
watery, हाँ watery से
उसे
type
बचने के लिए
हाँ.
जो
So this part is done. But if you look at new syllabus and in new NCRT, topics start from here. Tissue system. Keep, now we'll discuss the tissue based on their location, where tissue is present. Based on that, we'll divide them. Okay. It and structure and function dependent upon the location. So if location change, structure function change. Correct. So based on the location and structure, there are three type of tissue: epidermal, ground tissue or most basic tissue, and last vascular tissue or connecting tissue. Vascular tissue means xylem phloem, same in simplest way. Ground tissue parenchyma cell that is responsible for photosynthesis. And epidermal means outer side. They form skin of the plant. Outer layer of the plant, skin. Okay. Epidermal tissue form the outermost covering of the whole plant. Outermost covering of the whole plant. And these contain epidermal cell, stomata, and appendage like trichome and hairs. Correct. Outermost is epidermis. Correct. Epidermis. This epidermis is long cell, compactly arranged cell, and they form the continuous layer. Correct. This epidermis made up of the single layer. Single layer means like this, only one layer. only one layer. Correct. These epidermal cell again made up of parenchyma, but cytoplasm amount is very less. Vacuole are big, cytoplasm are less. Most of time you will see outside the epidermis there is a wax layer, cuticle, and benefit of the cuticle is to prevent water loss. That's why you will see cuticle in in stem and leaves. Root never have cuticle. Why? Imagine practically, if you have cuticle layer in the root, it will not allow the entry of plant in the root. Make sense? आपने बहुत वैक्सी लेयर बना दिया, वो क्या बोलते हैं, वाटर प्रूफिंग लेयर बना दिया अराउंड द रूट, तो व्हाट विल हैपन? वाटर कैन नॉट एंटर, बट थ्रू रूट वी वांट वाटर ओनली. Make sense? That's why you will see this cuticle is not present in root. Make sense? Very logical. To be honest, I have less time. Otherwise, this chapter is one of the most logical chapter. If you understand the function, it's very logical. Next. So these are absent in root. Why? Root role is this water absorption. Second thing present in this is stomata. Stomata are present in the leaves. Role of the stomata is to exchange gas and transpiration. Transpiration means water evaporation from the leaves. Water evaporation. Each stomata made up of two bean-shaped cells known as guard cell. Within the guard cell, we have stomatal pore. Correct? We have stomatal pore. Example, in case of grasses, you will see shape is dumbbell shape. As you can see, dumbbell shape in case of grass and very popular. If you see outer wall of the guard cell, outer wall is very thin and inner wall is very thick, as you can see in the diagram. In the diagram, as you can see, these are the thick layer. But if you see outer layer, it is very thin. Okay, and NEET already asked question from this. But look at the shape of this cell. Dumbbell shape in case of in case of grass. In case of grass, dumbbell shape. And remember, I am teaching almost like I am starting from the zero. Otherwise, during revision, it should be very fast. Okay, so make sure, listen carefully, otherwise you will miss whole thing. Next. Guard cell have chloroplast and guard cell control the opening and closing of stomata. Example, daytime, if too much light, too much water will evaporate. हम ये नहीं चाहते कि unnecessary water lost हो जाए plant से. To avoid that, we open or close the stomata depend upon the requirement. Sometime few epidermal cells next to the guard cell become specialized in their shape and size and known as subsidiary cell. Epidermal cell around the guard cell become specialized in their shape and they are known as subsidiary cell. Subsidiary cell. Subsidiary cell is a special type of epidermal cell. If you look at the guard cell have chloroplast, and between the two guard cell we have stomatal aperture. Correct? So stomatal aperture, guard cell, subsidiary cell all together is known as stomatal apparatus. Apparatus means system made up of subsidiary cell, guard cell, and stomatal aperture, like pore, central. Correct? So first one is the bean-shaped guard cell in the normal plant. But in case of grass, it is dumbbell shape. So shape is important. In grass, dumbbell shape. In normally, it is bean shape. Last part of the skin of the plant Epidermis means kind of skin. So they have hairs in the epidermis region. Root hair are unicellular in the root, of course. Role absorption of water and mineral from the soil. In case of stem, same hair is known as trichome. These trichome present in the stems and they are multicellular. They may be branched or unbranched. Most of root hair are not branched. They might be soft or stiff, or many times they can be secreted. They secrete some material. They prevent water loss due to transpiration. Because too much light fall on the plant leaves and stem. Water can evaporate. To protect from the evaporation, trichome are present, cuticle are present. Understood, guys? All tissue except epidermis, skin, vascular bundle, xylem phloem, except this xylem phloem and skin, it is ground tissue. It made up of simple tissue, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Parenchyma almost present everywhere, whether you take cortex, outer part, you take pericycle, you take pith, you take medullary, or you take primary, any stem or root, because soft part have some function is parenchymus. Correct? In case of leaves, we have special mesophyll cell. These cells have thin wall chloroplast, and mesophyll cell is responsible for photosynthesis because they contain more amount of chloroplast. Any doubt, guys? Mesophyll cell have more amount of chloroplast. And last tissue, we have three: one skin, one xylem phloem, vascular tissue. Last part of the plant responsible for photosynthesis, ground. Next, vascular tissue, xylem phloem. Xylem phloem together is known as vascular bundle. In case of dicot plant, special cambium is present between the phloem and xylem. Correct. In this vascular bundle, cambium is responsible for the secondary growth. Correct. That's why open vascular bundle. Why open? Because there is between xylem and phloem you have cambium open. In case of monocot, no cambium, no secondary growth. So phloem and xylem is closely associated. Nothing between them is closed vascular bundle. Correct? When xylem and phloem are present in the alternate manner of the radii, they are radial thing are present in the root. First diagram. Alternate. How? One phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem. So radially it is present. That's why radial configuration in case of root. Radial in root. Radial in root. Radial in root. Okay. Radial in root. Conjoint means on the same radius. Conjoint on the same radius where xylem phloem present on the same radius, as you can see this common diagram, this common radius. Correct. And conjoint are present in stem and leaves. Conjoint are present in stem and leaves. In case of conjoint, you can see phloem is outside of the xylem, as you can see in the diagram. Phloem is outside, xylem is inside. Okay. Any doubt, guys, up to here? समझ में आया अच्छे से? Aditya, any doubt?
No, sir.
Again, for a quick revision, three tissue in the plant. One forms skin or outer layer of the plant, epidermis. Example, epidermal layer, stomata. Second, xylem, phloem part, vascular bundle. Third, plant part, which is actually responsible for photosynthesis, is ground tissue. Done. 3 types. Shortest summary. Chandana, any doubt?
No, sir.
Nancy,
No,
Rayan,
No, sir.
Sarah,
no, sir.
Zoom user,
No, sir.
Bubbly, Vadatya,
लगता अभी ज्वाइन
तुम अभी ज्वाइन की। खुशी, सहारण,
नो सर रिकॉर्डिंग सेंड
वरिंदर
कर
ने
दो
भी तो ज्वाइन किया था। ठीक है, वरिंदर ने भी तो ज्वाइन किया था अर्ली। मनन चौधरी, खुशी वीडियो
यस
ऑफ क्यों है
सर।
तुम्हारी? समझ में आया अच्छे से?
हाँ मेरा काम मतलब वही कैमरे की दिक्कत चल रही है।
ठीक है, खुशी, वरिंदर, योर वीडियो। सुहानी, वीडियो। तो आई थिंक वेरी लॉन्ग वीडियो।
सिर्फ 5 मिनट में ऑन करती हूँ।
ठीक है, वेरी लॉन्ग वीडियो इन बायोलॉजी इज बोरिंग। लेट्स सॉल्व सम क्वेश्चन व्हाट वी स्टडीड। ठीक है, तो हम क्वेश्चन कर लेते हैं। क्वेश्चन से एक आइडिया हो जाएगा कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन यू गेट फ्रॉम दिस टॉपिक।
सर अभी शुरू से क्वेश्चन करेंगे।
हाँ, एकदम जीरो से कर रहे हैं।
ओके क्वेश्चन के साथ थोड़ा बहुत बता भी देंगे डिटेल।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। 2024 क्वेश्चन। Aditya, simple tissue found in the fruit wall of nut and pulp of pear. Sclerenchyma scleride.
हाँ सर
Dead cell. Dead cell. Chandana. Which cell help in maintenance of pressure gradient in sieve tube? Anything happen in sieve tube is maintained by companion cell. कुछ भी होता है sieve tube में तो companion ही उसको कंट्रोल करता है. Companion nucleus control sieve tube. Next, Sarah. What is ABCD? Which component has thin outer layer and highly thick inner wall?
The
Which
guards.
structure? Guard cell. Which is guard cell?
C.
Yes, C. Correct. C is guard cell. B is subsidiary cell. A is epidermal cell. And this is metal pore. This is guard cell. So neat ask diagram and very blur diagram. Which of the following structure form root when seed germinate? Radical. C. Plumule form shoot system and radical form root system. Correct. Next, Rayan. Parenchyma is living, but collenchyma is dead cell. Is this correct? No.
No, sir.
Both are living. Only sclerenchyma is dead. Second,
Gymnosperm lack xylem vessels by presence of true, sir.
Yes, this is true. Xylem uh, xylem vessel is absent in gymnosperm but present in the angiosperm. We didn't do this yet. Marinder. End arc and exarch are terms often used for explaining the secondary xylem. No. Protoxylem, first xylem, primary xylem. Protoxylem. Exarch is present in root. Protoxylem outside, soft part outside. Yes. Exarch outside. Exarch outside.
सर ओ वाला थोड़ा बताएंगे, जैसे मतलब याद
कौन
रहते, कंफ्यूज होते हैं। एंडास एक्सेस
End arc in stem. Okay. In this case, protoxylem is inside, center. तो exarch उल्टा हो जाएगा. क्यों? क्योंकि प्रोटोजाइलम जब अंदर होगा तो उसकी प्रोटेक्शन अच्छे से मिलेगी, और प्रोटेक्शन हमें कहाँ चाहिए? स्टेम के अंदर. तो प्रोटोजाइलम अगर इनसाइड होगा तो दैट इज एंडार. प्रोटोजाइलम आउटसाइड, एक्सार, उल्टा ऑफ. दिस वी हैव टू डू. पहले आइडेंटिफाई द लेटरल मेरिस्टेम अबो. कोर कैम्बियम, interfascicular cambium. Correct. Axillary bud is definitely not. Intercalary meristem is not. If you see option C, D, C, D, you don't have.
We're talking about secondary meristem.
Yes, lateral means secondary. So you have vascular, fascicular cambium, interfascicular cambium, core cambium. Look at the thing we studied in the same topic. देखो यहाँ पे fascicular, vascular cambium, interfascicular cambium, core cambium.
Yes, sir.
Correct. That's why I always mention from the difficult chapter you always get the easy question, repeated question. In the fruit wall of the nut, sclerid. 2022 question. Correct. Fruit wall of nut, sclerid, first option. Question number 16. Look at this. Question number 3. Which structure is found in the fruit wall of the nut? Same question, same answer, sclerid. Same
सर
number also.
स्क्लेरिड्स और स्क्लेरेनकाइमा में क्या डिफरेंस है?
स्क्लेरिड एक टाइप ऑफ स्क्लेरेनकाइमा है. स्क्लेरेनकाइमा दो टाइप के हो सकते हैं. वन इज फाइबर, सेकंड इज स्क्लेरिड.
ओके, तो सर फाइबर और स्क्लेरिड में क्या डिफरेंस है फिर?
फाइबर थोड़े से लॉन्ग होते हैं ऐसे,
ये भी डेड
लॉन्ग
होता
पॉइंट.
है?
हाँ, और ये दोनों डेड होते हैं, और ये ऐसे थोड़ा स्फेरिकल शेप के ज्यादा होते हैं.
तो सर
सर
फाइबर्स के
फाइबर
लिए मतलब क्या वो हो जाएगा
दोनों ही डेड
क्वेश्चन?
है.
जैसे इसमें बोला है कि फ्रूट वॉल्स ऑफ नट्स, तो हमने इसमें स्क्लेरिड लगा दिया, बट इसमें दोनों स्क्लेरेनकाइमा दे रखा है, फाइबर और स्क्लेरिड्स. तो फाइबर्स के लिए क्या कंडीशन होगी?
फाइबरस लाइक धागे से बनते हैं ना, जैसे जूट में हमने बोला था जूट फ्लैक्स.
हम्म.
तो उसके अंदर यू सी द फाइबर पार्ट.
ओके ओके.
हाँ, बिकॉज वो फाइबर ही तो है अल्टीमेटली.
यस.
यस. एनीबॉडी. तो यू कैन सी
सर
कि
फाइबर
सेम.
तो फ्रूट में भी होता है।
फाइबर फ्रूट में बिल्कुल हो सकता है।
तो एक एग्जाम में आ सकता है, मतलब स्क्लेरन का भी वो भी पार्ट हो सकता है।
हाँ, क्लेनकाइमा पार्ट हो सकता है फ्रूट में। अभी फ्रूट पल्प में हमने देखा ना, यही था। नेक्स्ट, सारा, in case of root, xylem and phloem are the vascular bundle alternate different radii. Correct. Last topic. Conjoint and close. Close present in monocot. Correct. And they do not have cambium. Monocot do not have cambium. Open have cambium. Dicot stem. Stem have endark. Monocot root have more than 6 xylem bundle. All are correct. All are correct. Okay. All are correct. So tell me, is it asking directly NCRT based straightforward question? Direct definition. Dead cell with high thickened wall and narrow lumen. If it is dead, then it is sclerate. Different type of cell. Vascular tissue, xylem or phloem. All cell have same structure and function.
Cell tissue.
Dividing.
Meristematic.
Yes. Anybody have doubt in this? Do one thing. Read that part for 15 minutes. Quick reading. Quick reading. Don't try to memorize. याद रखने की कोशिश मत करना, बस एक जल्दी से रीड मारो for 15 minutes and then we'll finish the dicot root, like root, stem and leaves part. Very important. Then chapter will be over.
सर उसका PDF भेज दिया उसकी